We can see the guests are offering flowers. I request everyone to rise in their seat and welcome, with a huge round of applause, kindly welcome revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Karad Sir, Honorable D.K. Hari and Dr. Hema Hari, founders, Bharat Gyan, Chennai, Honorable Professor Dr. Ram Charan, world-renowned business advisor, author and speaker, Dr. R.M. Chitnis, Vice Chancellor, MIT World Peace University, Dr. Milind Pandey, Pro Vice Chancellor, MIT World Peace University. A huge round of applause, and let us welcome our guest, I kindly request guests and dignitaries to accept their chairs. Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third session of Day 1 of 28 Philosopher, Saint Shree Dnyaneshwara and Saint Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series and Orientation Program 2023. I, Professor Neha Joshi, on behalf of Organizing Committee, warmly welcome all the distinguished guests and audiences of MIT World Peace University, Pune, Bharat, on 28th Endowment Lecture Series. It is a pride and privilege to mention that this lecture series has been organized as the UNESCO Chair Program in Quest of World Peace. Philosopher Saint Shree Dnyaneshwara, Philosopher Saint Shree Tukaram, and Swami Vivekananda, founding fathers of cultural renaissance of our Bharat, remind us that the path of our future social reconstruction and welfare is through blending the scientific and spiritual values, which should form a common goal for the whole of mankind. And therefore, with the blessings of revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Karad Sir, we, the Organizing Committee of Saint Shree Dnyaneshwara and Saint Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series Trust and World Peace Center, Alandi, MITES MIT World Peace Center, University, Pune, Bharat, firmly believe in the saying of great noble son of Bharat, Swami Vivekananda, that union of science and spirituality alone will bring peace and harmony to mankind. A UNESCO chair in human rights, democracy, peace, and tolerance has been established at World Peace Center of MITES MIT World Peace University, Pune, Bharat. An agreement establishing the UNESCO chair was signed in Paris in May 1998 between UNESCO Paris and World Peace Center, MITES MIT Pune, Bharat, for the noble cause of world peace. So, with the blessings of our Honorable President, Vishwadharmi, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad Sir, as well as our Honorable Executive President, Shree Rahul V. Karad Sir, we would now like to commence the session 3 of day 1 of 28th Endowment Lecture Series in quest of world peace. Om is the inner self and is the form of all consciousness. Let us start our session today with Om meditation, and to conduct the meditation, may I now request Professor Manasvi Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Peace Studies, to conduct Omkar meditation.
Om is the eternal sound, the sound which is there in the universe all around. Om activates and energizes various parts in the body. It's about training in awareness and getting a healthy sense of perspective. It means love, eternity, purity, peace, and observing one's thoughts without being judgmental. Let us all experience this bliss. I request one and all to kindly close your eyes and take a comfortable position and wholeheartedly participate in the Om mantra. Be there. Gently rub your eyes, rub your palms and feel the warmth and the bliss of this energy over your face. Gradually open your eyes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. We indeed experience eternal peace through this Omkar meditation. My dear friends, as you are aware that in this 28th Endowment Lecture Series, we have started with a new tradition, a thought-provoking activity, Think It Over, Niti Ki Lagu Kahaniyan. We would like to show you a short film, and the title of the film is Ek Tha Hathi. So let us try to understand the message in the film as I request my technical team to relay the film.
प्रणाम और स्वागत है विशांति दर्शन के मंच पर। आप सुन रहे हैं नीति की लघु कहानियां। चैनल के जनक, चैनल के अधीष्ट हैं विश्वधर्मी प्रोफेसर विश्वनाथ दा कराड। पूर्वांचल के राज्य में एक राजा के पास हाथियों की एक विशाल सेना थी। उसमें एक हाथी बहुत ही शक्तिशाली और युद्ध कौशल में सर्वश्रेष्ठ था। हाथी का नाम था गजराज। कई युद्धों में उसे लड़ाई के मैदान में भेजा गया था और वो सदैव विजयी होकर लौटा था। गजराज सैकड़ों और हजारों हाथियों में से राजा का सबसे प्रिय हाथी था। समय बीतता गया और धीरे धीरे गजराज बूढ़ा होने लगा। राजा ने उसे फिर युद्ध के मैदान में दोबारा नहीं भेजा, लेकिन गजराज फिर भी राजा की हाथियों की सेना का हिस्सा बना रहा, क्योंकि राजा जब भी उसे देखते थे ना तो उन्हें अच्छा लगता था। वे अपने वृद्ध हाथी को देखकर खुशी महसूस करते थे, झूम उठते थे। एक बार गजराज झील में पानी पीने गया और उसका शरीर झील के कीचड़ में फंस गया और वो उसमें डूबने लगा। गजराज ने झील से बाहर निकलने की बहुत कोशिश की, लेकिन वो खुद को कीचड़ से बाहर नहीं निकाल सका। गजराज व्याकुल होकर चिंगाड़ रहा था। राज्य के लोग गजराज की चीख की आवाज सुनकर तालाब के पास एकत्रित हो गए, इकट्ठा हो गए, मगर वे भी कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे थे। लोग दहशत में थे, क्योंकि वे जानते थे कि गजराज राजा का प्रिय हाथी था। और फिर यह खबर राजा तक पहुंची। राजा वहां अपने सैन्य बल के साथ पहुंच गए और हाथी के चारों तरफ इकट्ठा होकर उसे बाहर निकालने का प्रयास करने लगे, मगर वे फिर भी कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे थे। और गजराज भी कोई छोटा मोटा जानवर था नहीं जो आसानी से बाहर निकल आता, भाई वो तो एक हाथी था। राजा के चेहरे पर भी परेशानी के भाव झलक रहे थे और उनसे कीचड़ में फंसे हुए हाथी की हालत देखी नहीं जा रही थी। उसी समय राजा के दरबार से सेवानिवृत्त एक बूढ़ा मंत्री वहां से गुजर रहा था। स्थिति को समझने के बाद उसने राजा से बात की और सुझाव दिया कि झील के चारों ओर युद्ध के नगाड़े बजाए जाएं। वहां खड़े लोगों को बूढ़े मंत्री का यह सुझाव बड़ा ही विचित्र और बहुत ही अटपटा लगा, मगर गजराज को तो किसी तरह बाहर निकालना ही था। इसलिए राजा ने अपने प्रधानमंत्री को युद्ध के नगाड़े बजाने के लिए कहा। और फिर एक अजूबा होने लगा। जैसे ही युद्ध के ढोल और नगाड़े बजने लगे, परेशान और चिंगारते हुए हाथी के व्यवहार में बदलाव आया। वो धीरे धीरे उठने लगा और फिर अपनी पूरी ताकत से उसने स्वयं को उस कीचड़ से बाहर निकाला। और चारों लोग खड़े हैरान थे, कहां से आई गजराज में ये शक्ति, ये ताकत। कहानी खत्म। आइए देखें क्या सबक सीखा हमने गजराज की इस कहानी से। यही कि दरअसल में हाथी में शारीरिक क्षमता की कमी नहीं थी, बस जरूरत थी भीतर जोश भरने की, और वो किया गया। जीवन में उत्साह बनाए रखने के लिए आवश्यक है कि मनुष्य एक उद्देश्यपूर्ण सोच और मानसिकता बनाए रखे और निराशा को हावी ना होने दे। थिंक इट ओवर।
Such a beautiful message. It is now time to follow our age-old tradition of Atiti Devo Bhava. I request revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir to felicitate and welcome the dignitaries on the dais. First, I would like to request sir to felicitate the founders of Bharat Gyan Chennai, Dr. D.K. Hari. A big round of applause. Founders of Bharat Gyan Chennai, Dr. D.K. Hari. The round of applause should continue. Dr. Hema Hari. We have an husband and wife duo over here, Dr. D.K. Hari and Dr. Hema Hari, founders of Bharat Gyan Chennai. A big round of applause. Thank you very much. Friends, we are delighted to have amongst us Honorable Dr. D.K. Hari and Dr. Hema Hari, founders Bharat Gyan Chennai, eminent author and TEDx speakers, forerunner in Indian civilization and knowledge studies. Before we invite them for the orientation lecture, I would take the honors to introduce them. Honorable Dr. D.K. Hari and Dr. Hema Hari, founders Bharat Gyan Chennai, are a husband and wife duo who have dedicated their lives to the study and dissemination of Indian civilization knowledge. They are the founders of Bharat Gyan, a non-profit organization that aims to raise awareness about the knowledge, practices, and global connects of Indian civilization over millennia. Dr. Hari, born in Kanchipuram, India, holds a PhD in business administration. He has extensive experience in the corporate world, having worked for over 20 years in management and IT. Dr. Hari is a passionate advocate for the preservation of Indian heritage and culture. Dr. Hema Hari, born in Mysore, India, holds a double degree in physics and computer technology. She has worked as an information technology professional for over 20 years. Dr. Hari is deeply interested in scientific and technological achievements of ancient India. Together, Dr. Hari and Dr. Hema Hari have authored over 100 books and produced over 500 hours of multimedia content on Indian civilization. They have also delivered over 1,000 lectures and workshops on the subject. Their work has been widely praised for its clarity, depth, and accessibility. In recognition of their contribution to the study of Indian civilization, Dr. Hari and Dr. Hema Hari have been awarded several honors, including the Padma Shri, one of the highest Indian civilian award. So please put your hands together as we invite Dr. Hari and Dr. Hema Hari.
No, this is fine. Thank you.
Two mics enough. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening to all of you. I'd like to thank distinguished sir, Professor Dr. Vishnanath for inviting us for this very prestigious lecture series. And also we'd like to thank Mr. Ishwar Krishna Iyer for Dr. Ishwar for introducing us to this institution, and to the Vice Chancellor for so kindly inviting us here. Thank you so much. We'll get to the subject of the evening quickly, which is about knowledge and what, because when they gave us the brief about the subject, she immediately, my wife, Dr. Hema, said, this would be an ideal, because when you're talking about Sant Dnyaneshwara series, obviously it has to be knowledge. From that we took it on. Please go ahead. So, and this is a land of the Sahyadri, water, so I thought it can connect both for the subject.
So we are going to actually start with some very interesting fact about peace, because this whole program itself is in the quest of peace, world peace. And in this institute, this is the right place to also seed this beautiful, interesting fact. We've all, I'm sure we have noticed that the sea, which we call Pacific, it's coming. It's coming. So, yeah.
The largest ocean of the world, what we call Pacific Ocean. That's the largest water body in the world. But have you seen that it stands from Pacific, pacify, peace. Obviously, it speaks about peace. This university, the life mission, the motto is all about peace here. But also at the same time, look at this. What did we call it in our traditional language? We called it Shanti Sagar. Look at the beauty of it. So the idea of peace, and that extended all the way, because we traverse those seas, not now millennia ago, not centuries ago, but millennia ago, and we saw it as Shanti Sagar. So that is what has come down to us in the English language as the Pacific Ocean over the last few centuries.
Now, peace and harmony, they go together, right? Yet another very interesting twist itself in the idea of what is peace, what is harmony, and the other, the idea of the other. See, when we're talking about peace, there is always two. You're trying to come in peace with something else. So there is a notion of the other that you're trying to bring within your boundaries, within your boundaries of harmony. And this concept of the other actually is very interesting.
So when you say peace, Shanti, look at the concept of peace and Shanti here. It's very interesting. When you look at how divinities are looked at the world over, across millennia, let's see. When you see what we call devil is divine for some. What is divine for some is devil for the other. So the root word is what? The root Bija Shabda, Bija Akshara is Div. Itself being divine. Dev, Divya Tampati, Div. Div meaning to glow. That's what it to shine. So Div. So for both, it is, but across centuries and millennia, it keeps on changing. For some which is divine, becomes Div. Because if you look at the classic case of the Poseidon, which is pagan, it just got a trident. Similarly, if you look at the Satan, the devil is also got a trident. So the concepts keep changing. I mean, the concepts are common, but the nomenclatures keep changing across
the perspective keeps changing.
Very good. The drishtikon, as we say in Hindi, keeps on changing. That is what something we'll have to understand. The same, this is not limited only to the word divine. Let's look at the other word that we have. Shant, Shanti, Satan, Sat, Sant, Satya. This also keeps on changing. But the root is similar, same. It changes with time. That's the beauty of it. The interchangeability is what we see. So the peace, Shanti, is a fundamental factor, but the perspectives, the drishtikons is what keep changing over years. Across geographies too. Across thoughts, that's what it is we see in this. And if you see, one other place we saw from the West perspective. Let's look at from the East perspective. Let's look at Japan now. How did the Japanese civilization, an equally ancient civilization, look at this?
So fundamentally, this part of the world actually has been for millennia propagating the idea of peace and harmony. And that you can see beautifully in this poem that our former late president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, when in the European Union, he had actually quoted a Tamil poem. And Dr. Ishwar Iyer here will be able to appreciate that. It's a Sangam poetry. And he said, many of you would be familiar by now because it's
been popular on YouTube.
Popularized a lot in media as well. Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. So he is starting with, this is the Sangam poet. The Sangam poet, many millennia ago, he is starting with the heart, then growing to the character, which is the persona. From there, he is growing to the home, the family. From there, he is taking it to the level of the nation and then the world itself. So he is building up harmony, saying that at every level you have to have harmony within yourself and your persona and home, and each level he is taking it. And these ideas of harmony you will find beautifully picked up by other civilizations. We are going to have the next session as leadership in peace. So this is a civilization which has been a leader in world peace, and the best example is the constitution, the first constitution of Japan.
Japan has taken a leaf from the Indian thought of harmony. Look at this. This is about 1,500 years ago. Prince
Shotoku he created the first constitution for Japan. It was a 17-clause constitution. But amidst all these 17 clauses, which was the first and primary clause, it was that about harmony. So he speaks that harmony is to be valued and the avoidance of wanton opposition to be honored. And that forms the first clause of the Japanese first constitution. And even today, we have met people in Japan who they may not remember those 17 clauses, but they all still remember that their constitution speaks about harmony.
First clause, which comes from Bodhisena, an Indian scholar who went from India to Japan. He took this with him. So the idea of Shanti, peace, harmony, look, all this, it's traversed across the world from Bharat. We have shared this idea. So when you say Vishwaguru, look at this, really the idea of sharing a noble thought which has survived for 1,500 years in a land which is Saat Samundar ke paas. That's the beauty of it. And the basic idea is harmony.
So then now the question will arise, so this harmony, why should we keep speaking about this harmony? Why should we keep re-emphasizing the idea of peace and harmony? Because this is very sensitive. It is highly prone to disturbance. And when can this happen? Typically, if you look at it, always peace and harmony gets disturbed with the presence of a scarcity. Look at it, presence of a scarcity. Scarcity means absence, but here I'm saying presence of an absence. So scarcity, if you see, is what typically triggers strife, and from this stems lot of conflicts. So
The other
our
steps in.
civilization had therefore understood. See, we have been a civilization, if you look at it, with a psyche of prevention. Do whatever you can to prevent bad. That has been the thing. You will see that even in Ayurveda, Swastha Vrita first, then go to Atura Vrita, but focus on prevention. And how do you prevent scarcity? By having abundance. The only way to prevent scarcity and therefore disturbance to peace through conflicts is through building abundance. And that is what something that this civilization has been masters at.
Consistently doing. So when you say Karma Yoga, this we've been creating abundance. Let's see that over the next few slides.
And to do that, what they had done was they had got a good handle about understanding what is existence. They spoke about matter, mind, spirit, consciousness. So all of these...
Science and spirituality intertwining.
So all of these, we had got a handle on this, and this comes all the way from our Upanishad in the form of the Taittiriya Upanishad and the idea of a Panchakosha. And look at this Panchakosha, how it has actually molded even the world of today is something that we will see now.
See, Taittiriya Upanishad is old, ancient, by millennia, but that concept of Panchakosha is valid today and taught even now as a fundamental basis of management. We'll see that in the next 2 minutes.
Yes, just one moment, I'll pick that up. So these are all the various capsules that we have combined.
See, as she said, it's 5 levels. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, leading all the way up to Anandamaya Kosha, the fundamental foundation. This is mentioned in Taittiriya Upanishad. And it's valid for, it's a 5-level sheet, valid for an individual, a community, a civilization, a country, an organization, everything. This is as old, but let's also see its application now. Who brought it forth in modern use, modern management? Abraham Maslow. He speaks of the same theories in New York 70 years ago, in 1950s. This is the foundation of behavioral science and management. But how did it come about? How did Abraham Maslow bring this about in New York 70 years ago, which is there in our Taittiriya Upanishad for the last 4,000, 5,000 years and more? That's the question.
So his parents were Jewish immigrants from Russia, and that's how he lands up in America. And he admits that this is an idea, this perspective, he has got it from the Indian Upanishads. And he did his study on human behavior, and he said that the first level is comfort, that you feel comfortable that you have everything with you, then you feel safe, then you need once you have the security, physical security, you have a security of a group, then your ego, identity is satisfied, and that's when you realize yourself. So what we are trying to tell you here is that in whether you say from Panchakosha of Taittiriya Upanishad or you look at Maslow's hierarchical needs, the fundamental, the pinnacle is bliss, peace, ananda, balance,
harmony, balance.
But the foundation for this lies in your Annamaya Kosha. So that is where we keep coming back, that if you want peace, you have to ensure that your Annamaya Kosha, there is no scarcity there, that there is abundance there. And what is Annamaya Kosha again? Now here, if you look at the point of Annamaya Kosha and the whole Panchakosha itself, this is, as the Taittiriya Upanishad says, for any individual, one being, not just man, all forms of living beings. The same is applicable to a civilization as well, because a civilization is also a living entity. How can a group formed by living people not be living too? It has its own collective consciousness as well. So a civilization is also a living being, and that also has its Panchakosha.
It has a collective character. An individual has character. A civilization has a collective character. Look at that. And this is what Maslow also brings forth.
And the natural resources of the civilization, its assets, physical assets, natural assets, and all its various flora, fauna, everything, including the people, that forms the Annamaya Kosha of the civilization, because that is what is nourishing the civilization. So this is the layer that we have to focus on if we also want to look at peace at the final level of at the pinnacle of the civilization and its interactions with other civilizations.
But the point now to go back is, how did Maslow really get to this? Ancient Taittiriya Upanishad idea is what we will see now, quickly. Because he is obviously from Russia. Look at this. What do we call for butter in the Indian language? Makkan. What do you call it in Persia? Maska. Maska chaska. What do you call that in Russian? Maslow. Look at the idea. So very similar. So the idea of oil seller, a butter seller, a ghee seller, curd seller is called Maslow in Russian language. So there's a concept of connectivity between the three civilizations. Makkan chor, maska mat dalo, makkan chahiye, Maslow. So there was a trade connect with that language connect. Obvious language connect is there. What goes with it? Ideas go with it. When a trade happens, ideas go along with it, and obviously the same set of traders have traveled. This we have brought out in our book Indo-Russia to explain further. So there was very clear, so the idea of Maslow's Annamaya Kosha to the hierarchical theory is actually very buttery connect, utterly butterly connect, if you can say it in the modern language. Certainly it is the beauty of, look at it, it's amazing, isn't it? But unless you know that in the Russian language, Maslow means butter, and there's a connect, we can't string it back. You have to know the various points to string back. And actually this was told to me by the Russian ambassador to India, that see this connect. We had spoken theory, but he was who actually pointed it out to us in the Russian house.
So now that brings us to the question. So we are able to see that we need to strengthen our Annamaya Kosha if we also want to have a good Anandamaya Kosha, especially when we are talking about peace and peace in civilization at a civilization level. So how do we strengthen that? What is it that can give us the bounty? So if you look at all the things that make up our Annamaya Kosha of our civilization, a civilization, fundamentally it will boil down to water being the essence. He's drinking water at the right moment. So water being the essence of strengthening that Annamaya Kosha.
Apaha is waters. In our terms, Apaha, obviously Punjab, Doab, all the Apaha. The idea is that very clearly. So let's look at waters.
So
Now,
here we will play two very short films for you that we have made about water. Because how do we get our water? Fundamentally, through our varsha, right? Through our rains.
so obviously she said one thing, you call rains as Varsha. What else do you call as Varsha? A year is also Varsha. What else do you call Varsha? Our land is Varsha, Bharata Varsha. So 1 year is Varsha, our geographical land is Varsha, our rain is Varsha. So we have Varsha, Varsha, Varsha. Let's look at this now. It's a beautiful connect. At the Annamaya Kosha level, that's a basic harmony product. It's a harmony among the three names.
Have you ever wondered why we call our land as Bharata Varsha? We call rain as Varsha. We call a year also as Varsha. What is the connect between these three Varsha?
In this whole world, after the Amazon forests, the one single landmass that gets the highest rainfall consistently year after year is Bharat Varsha, which is India. The onset of monsoon rains, Varsha, which came the same time every year, marked a year for the farmers in the agrarian society of Bharat. Hence, Varsha also came to denote the concept of a year.
Thus, we see a distinct connection between rain, year and land. Rain is Varsha, year is also Varsha. The land over which this rain Varsha rained prosperity year on year is also Bharat Varsha.
Look at the beautiful connect, isn't it? So this is what gives us our basic Annamaya Kosha. This is what gives our basic harmony, basic prosperity. Any ladies here with the name Varsha? Yes, she'll be so proud of it. I can't see, but still. So you must be so proud of your name. And it's got such a wonderful meaning. Please share it with all your family and friends.
Now, after she sees this next film, she is going to really feel even more proud, and so are all of us. Okay. Now, I grew up in Mumbai, and I remember every June 13th, I would promptly, my school would reopen. I would go downstairs, stand in front of my building for the school bus with a new raincoat, my black rain shoe, waiting for, and because it would rain consistently, June 13th, it is rain in Mumbai.
And
Many
June
of you, I'm
15th
sure, from Mumbai. So
and
you all
June
might-
15th, it will rain in Pune.
Yes.
June 1st, it will rain in Thiruvananthapuram, which is Sri Iyer's hometown. June 5th, it will rain in Mangaluru. June 7th, 8th, it will rain in Goa. June, as he says, 12th, 13th in Mumbai. June 17th, 18th in Surat, Baroda. By June 20th in Ahmedabad. Is there any calendar in the sky? Why should it rain every year June 13th in Mumbai, June 15th in Pune? Where's the sky? Where's the calendar in the sky? Is there any calendar? Why should it? June 1st means it rains in Thiruvananthapuram. The first question any Malayali will ask is, Naatla Mada Undo? That's what it means. Is it raining in our land? That's what they'll. So that's the idea. So, so it's got a clear geographical calendar. But where is the clock? Where is the calendar in the sky? Is it magic? Is it divine? Is it natural? How? Why should it rain on June 1st? Every year June means monsoon time. Why?
Now let's see that secret.
Let's see the magic of that. Recently we had an India-Australia match. From that we'll see.
We have set the music also to match the rain rags. So this is one of the Malhar rags. The earlier was from the South Indian Amrita Varshini. So please enjoy the rag also.
Just a short 3-minute film.
Why does it rain every year on this land without fail? What are the forces of nature that bring this rain to this land every year?
In the month of May, there is summer in the northern hemisphere. In the interiors of India, temperatures soar to 45 degrees centigrade and even more. In Sahara Desert, the temperature range is between 45 degrees to 50 degrees centigrade. This extreme heat causes low pressure. During this time, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. The Great Australian Desert is cooler and hence high pressure prevails there. It is well known that winds always move from high pressure to low pressure. So the cool winds move from central Australia in a northwesterly direction towards the hot Sahara Desert. As the winds cross the equator, they turn right in consonance with nature due to the Earth's spin, which is explained as Farrell's law. Picking up moisture along the way from the Indian Ocean, the moisture-laden winds blow in towards India, thereby bestowing monsoon rains all over the land.
So look at the beauty of it. The moment we have heavy summer in the northern hemisphere, it's winter there. So there is a flow of air. But the moment it crosses the equator, because of the earth is curved, obviously it's a ball. Boo gola. It's not boo flat. Or it's not boo triangle, boo conical. It is circle. So what happens? Like our spinner's ball spins in cricket, it turns, it curves. So what happens? Actually the clouds, meant for Sahara, turns and comes here to pour for us. That's how we get our monsoon rain. The English word monsoon comes from the Arabic word mausam. Mausam, monsoon. That's how the word comes from. So that's how we get the rain. So if you have a good summer, you will have a good rains as well. So let us not blame a good hot summer, because that is what leads you to the copious rains as well. That is what you should understand here.
But now comes the moot point. What have, especially a saint like Swami Vivekananda, he is repeatedly called Bharat by one particular name, one particular title. What is that word he has used for Bharat? Which all our ancestors, we also use it, our parents will say, we have always called Bharat a Punya Bhumi, correct? How many of us have heard this? And how many of us, how many times our parents will keep telling us, you don't know the value of having been born in this Punya Bhumi. They'll always keep telling you, right from a childhood. So Punya Bhumi, Bharat, Punya Bhumi, Bharat, Punya Bhumi. Why is this a Punya Bhumi?
Yes, we pray to different gods, we are spiritual, we are religious, we are harmonious, we are peaceful, all that. But also think from a not geopolitical angle, but purely from a geographical angle. Suppose this land Bharat, this subcontinent of Bharatavarsha is 5 degrees latitude west or east, or 5 degrees longitude north or south. Would you get this rain?
See, this cloud, which is actually meant for the deserts here,
Sahara, Arabian Sahara,
is coming, and because the earth is round and bulging, the winds turn inward and therefore they change direction and come this way. Now, if India were not here,
somewhere else,
would you get this rain?
Would you get this monsoon? Think
And
for a
then
moment.
again, this monsoon, actually the beauty of this monsoon is we always get it after our summers, which helps crops and other things grow. If we had got the rains before summer and the summer were to come after the rain, imagine what would happen.
It will
Everything
evaporate away.
All the waters would evaporate. It would
Evaporate
become
away.
hot after that. Whereas the rain is coming after summer and you have this entire stretch of good salubrious weather, climate for everything to grow beautifully and get a good harvest.
Anybody with the name Ritu here? Any lady? Look at the idea of Ritu, season, how it comes, cyclical season. And look at the English word rhythm, comes from the Indian word Ritu. So it has to follow a cycle, a system, a season by which it follows and comes. So we get the rain accordingly. That's the beauty of this land. That's the amazing beauty of this land.
So, by virtue of its geographical position, we automatically become endowed and become a punya bhumi. Now, okay, the clouds.
I know, madam, we are interrupting, but I think the most respected, the world celebrated management guru, Professor Ramcharan. Let us welcome Professor Ramcharan. He taught in Harvard Business School. He's a Baker Scholar, and so many important positions he has decorated and guided the largest corporations of the world, you know, in our country, all the Reliance and all those big important groups. He's guiding many such corporate leaders in the country. And of course, you all are aware that at our campus, sir, we have established in his name, Ramcharan School of Leadership. So what a great fortune that today he is here to have a dialogue with our beloved founder, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, sir. So let us welcome once again Professor Ramcharan. Thank you.
Namaste, sir. So, this is yet another punya that we are having, that we have his august presence with us today. We are honored indeed to be sharing the dais with him. So, look at this. The India by virtue, Bharat by virtue of its presence at this particular spot, automatically becomes a punya bhumi. Now, the next question will be, if the clouds turn and just pass over India, is it enough? Will it rain? The clouds are passing over so many other spaces. Why does it rain over Bharat? What causes it to rain over Bharat? And if that were not there, what would happen to Bharat? You know, we really are a punya bhumi in many, many ways. And here is where you will actually see spirituality and science being intertwined. The science is not a subject. Science is nature. Science is truth.
Prakriti.
Prakriti. And what we understand of it is what we call as a subject science.
Vijnana.
But the truth is the reality, and that reality doesn't distinguish between spirituality or geography or the actual physics. It is there and it is happening. And here is what we will see, because you in Pune are at the closest to what causes that rain.
No, she asked a very particular question. Okay, it picks up, the wind starts from Australia, goes towards Arabia, it crosses the equator, turns right, India's geographically placed there, so it comes there, it's a punya bhumi, all that. But why should that cloud, and it crosses the Indian Ocean where it picks up all the moisture. So it's very moisture-laden winds that's coming in here. But why should it pour over this land? Why can't it just go straight to China? Why can't it go to Korea, Japan? Why should it pour here? That is the moot point. And what do we call our range of hills here? Not Western Ghats, that's an English name. What do we call it by our own name? Sahyadri. Why do we call it Sahyadri? Adri is obviously hills. And it is Sahaya Adri, meaning helpful. What is the help that Sahaya Adri does for our ancestors to call it Sahayadri? That's the moot question here. See, while it's a spiritual question, but it's also very, very scientific, geographical question. And look at, they knew both, they intertwined both to understand and name it accordingly. Let's look at the idea of Sahayadri. See, because the rains come, they come so much with the clouds. What happens? They are very heavy. The moment it comes and hits the tall range of Sahyadri, they pour the rain, some amount of it, in the western side. When it becomes a little lighter, it climbs up. When it climbs up, it starts pouring once again. And on the leeward side, it pours the balanced rains. So it is helpful in lifting the moisture-laden clouds, winds, because that wind has to go, because the next wind is coming. Then the next wind is coming by the hour with the same moisture winds. Okay. So it has to move fast. So you understand that. So it's continuously raining and pouring, and that's how Sahyadri, look at this, we named it knowing it. And from there, it goes to all over India, Vindhyachal everywhere it meets.
This after Sahyadri, the rain, the clouds, they can just pass away, right? They can just come, go over and just move away. But look at this land topography again. So after they cross this Sahyadri, this block, and they come inside, the clouds are moving in this direction. So what do they hit next? They hit this range called the Vindhyas, which are across. So it causes rains in this belt. And after the Vindhyas, what happened? They rise here, they go further, then they have the Himalayas. So if it were not for the Sahyadri, we would not have got the rains. If it were not for the Vindhya, the central part won't get the rains. And if it's not for the Himalayas, this entire plain would not get the rains.
That's why it's called Shivalik, the first stage, because Shivalik means abounding in life.
Mangalam.
Flora and fauna. That's why it rains. Because look at this land itself is Vastu compliant, because the moment the clouds come here, it traps it with hills on all sides, and it has to drop the moisture in this land. That's the beauty of this land.
So literally all the moisture it's picking, it's dropping it on this land. And if you don't have bounty, then what else can you have?
That is why you have the idea of Annamaya Kosha built in here. Look at the beauty of it. That's which is said in the Taittiriya Upanishad. This is a foundational basis. And this is the gradient of the land, which is from the Sahyadri gradients down towards eastward.
So the Deccan Plateau actually slopes towards the east. So these rains, even though they come from the west, the water that falls here waters the entire peninsula all the way to the east. Look at the number of rivers that you have here in this land just because of this gradient.
Look at this,
all the
way
rivers
our
rising
body
here.
has veins. The land of Bharat has veins. Look at the beauty of it. The number of watersheds we have. So, right from the Ganga in the north to the Tamrabarani. See, because Professor Vishwanath Kant, he showed us a film before we came here about how
Saraswati River.
He started. So, that is at the north. So, from there to south, we have a beautiful water system in India which makes it the Annamaya Kosha, where the water is there for the food grains to grow. That's the beauty of it. Now, this is the land of Deccan. You have an area called Deccan here. The only city where you have a Deccan Gymkhana, Deccan area, everything. Have you ever thought, why is it called Deccan? Have you all ever thought? Because this is a knowledge point. It's a catalyst to knowledge. That's the subject of our, why is it knowledge point? What is the significance of the term Deccan? How did the English word Deccan come about? Why do we use the concept of Deccan? Let's see that for the next 2 minutes.
So if you trace the word Deccan backward, the English word Deccan is actually from the Bharatiya word in all languages, Dakshin. Okay, Dakshin meaning south. Now, why is Dakshin called south? Because imagine when you are standing in a ground and you're just looking up at the sky. The sky, the horizon, from horizon to horizon, it's like a bow on top of your Dhanur. It's like a dhanush above your head. Now, let's say you're facing east. Okay, because we normally take one direction as a reference, and we have always taken east where the sun rises as our reference point. Now, if you are standing facing the east, then which is the direction to your south? The one on your right side.
The one to your right is your?
So what does your right side denote? Your right side always stands for ability,
Skill.
in most
Capability.
people, usually people are all right-handed. So anything that you do skillfully is associated with the right hand. And
Of course, some are ambidextrous. Sabyasachi, that's a different thing because Arjuna was also few were.
so
Some
what
are.
is the word for skillful, in another word for skillful in English? Dexterity. Dexterous. And look at where this word shares its root. Daksha.
Daksha
Daksha
Prajapati.
means you are skilled. Daksha means skill. So that is how you find Daksha, Dakshin, Diksha, everything, all of these which is associated
What do you
with
do in
skilling.
Diksha? You pass on a skill from a guru to a Sishya. Isn't it? So look at the idea, concept of
So
Deccan.
that is how
Of course, it's a very anglicized word of Dakshin, Daksha, Daksha Prajapati. And you all know who is the daughter of, who is Dakshayani, all of you know.
So that is how, and therefore Deccan is the land which is also a name for Dakshin, and it denotes the skill. And this is the skill which is going to say, I mean, differentiate whether this punya, are you going to put it to use? And therefore your karma bhumi, are you going to put all these into action? Are you going to do this action, you need knowledge. And that is when you're going to have a good sustainable living. And this is also a land associated with Ganesha, Ashtavinayak. Ganesha stands for knowledge.
Jnana.
Jnana.
Ganapati, Jnana.
So
that's a context of connect. In this land especially of Maharashtra.
So quickly, do the harnessing of this water with knowledge, which is when you will get all your economic prosperity, your abundance, all the goodness in the land, the peace and progress and all of that. And that is when, if you do it collectively and have a collective development, progress, then each of us is like a brick in building this nation. And we all are blessed to be an institution where we revere Sant Dnyaneshwara, Sant Tukaram and Vitthal. Shree Hari Vitthal is the ruling divinity for these people, these Sant. And it re-emphasizes that we all should become building bricks of this nation with this knowledge. And another beautiful point of how this knowledge and water, therefore, are twin catalysts for peace. And look at the beauty in this. Neither knowledge nor water can you ever trace their source.
Rishi Moolam, Nadi Moolam.
You
The
can
moolam
never
of
find.
both is always.
Because they're always cyclical, perennial, and all pervading. So both are in a form of a Ganga. One is a Jal Ganga, one is a Jnana Ganga.
Gagan se Gagan. Ganga, Gagan se Gagan. It's a continuous eco cycle. It's an atmospherical cycle. Knowledge is also a cyclical like that.
And
Jnana.
it is this forum where we are honoring these two very important sons of our civilization, that we also remember that these points, because all these sons, whether you take Sant Dnyaneshwara, Tukaram, Swami Vivekananda and so many others, each of them have spoken about things like the Panchakosha, which all look spiritual and religious, but they all also, when they have delivered it to us, they have told us to look at the sciences and the physical aspects that have to go hand in hand to live in that Panchakosha state.
So Jnana to Vijnana, both. So both spectrums of the Dhanur have been compiled and joined by all the gurus of the land. So they're not only spiritual, but they also understand the Laukika, the whole concept of it. That's why the Panchakosha model of our civilization so beautifully fits in. And understanding this gives us our sense of confidence to all of us as professors, and we in turn share it with our students. This confidence, what does it do? Gives a sense of dare to all our students, so that they can dare to achieve in an inspirational world where they would like to, going forward all over the world. That's when we become a Vishwaguru. That's the beauty of it. So all this data we have together in our Bharat Gyan website, which all of you are welcome to go through, our books and films for this. So once again, we'd like to thank this wonderful institution for calling us over for this very illustrious lecture series and being present here in this August gathering, this August stage, and sharing this knowledge with all of you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
Thank you very much for the words of wisdom. A big round of applause. It was indeed an enlightening and enriching speech. The relation between Varsha and Bharatvarsha, it was indeed enlightening. The journey from devil to divine. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming all the way here and sharing your thought with us. Friends, we are really honored to have with us Professor Dr. Ramcharan, world-renowned business advisor, author, and speaker, global advisor to CEOs and corporate boards. And now I request the revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir to felicitate Professor Dr. Ramcharan sir. A big round of applause, dear friends, as we felicitate our very own Professor Dr. Ramcharan. The round of applause should continue. Before I invite Professor Dr. Ramcharan to give or to share his thoughts, I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Ramcharan. Honorable Professor Dr. Ramcharan Ji, a world-renowned business consultant, author, and speaker who has spent the past 40 years working with many top companies, CEOs, and boards of our times. In his work and with companies including Toyota, Bank of America, Key Bank, ICICI Bank, Aditya Birla Group, and many more, Dr. Ramcharan is known for cutting through the complexity of running a business in today's fast-changing environment to uncover the core business problem. Dr. Ramcharan was first introduced to business while working in the family shoe shop in a small town in northern India where he was raised. He earned an engineering degree in India, then took a job in Australia. He went on to earn MBA and doctorate degrees from Harvard Business School, where he graduated with high distinction and was a Baker Scholar and served on faculties of Harvard Business School and Northwestern University before pursuing consulting full-time. Dr. Ramcharan has coached more than a dozen leaders who went on to become CEOs. His energetic, interactive teaching style has won him several awards, including the Bell Ringer Award at GE's famous Crotonville Institute and Best Teacher Award at Northwestern University. He was among Business Week's top 10 resources for in-house executive development programs. Dr. Ramcharan has authored more than 30 books since 1998 that have sold over 4 million copies in more than a dozen languages. So with a big round of applause, let us welcome Professor Dr. Ramcharan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I thought I start from where I came. I can look back and be totally truthful. I don't have to hide anything. What was it that got shaped? So I come from a lower middle class, middle income family, a joint family, father and uncle, uncle totally illiterate, can't read, can't write, but 50 years of partnership. 13 of us from both families. My father's shop has just celebrated 100 years. The grandson runs it. My brother's shop, shoe shop, where I learned all the trades of business, is now 75 years. But the values, the habits, the soul and materialism were shaped on the shoe shop. They were shaped in the school, high school, where my teachers, they were the most dedicated I've had in life. Some of them used to teach by singing. When I say singing, I don't mean movies. I mean the context, the text. That was the dedication. Dedication left that on me as a permanent habit. It was real, day in, day out. And you copy people. And here is this person comes, makes very small living in those days. We used to sit on the floor. They sit a chair, go outside. We had classes 7 to 11, 1 to 4, or 1 to 5. One shift, no electricity, no plumbing, nothing. We didn't even know what are we missing. No idea. We had no idea what is weekend. We worked 7 days a week. So I want to come to the point. The first impression that we had in the family. We come with nothing and we go out with nothing. To this day, I practice that. To this day, I coach the most wealthy people on earth. I say, you're running right race, you go to a psychiatrist, your blood pressure is up. Why? Legacy. I say, now tell me, how many CEOs' legacy after third generations are alive? None. Why are you so sick? Why do you need a psychiatrist? What have you done? And suddenly, the spiritual part begins to come in. I do that. I am in no way not telling the truth. I'm one-on-one, eat their sandwich, and drink their booze. I said, no, somebody's going to face it for you. You got all the kalesh. Understand the word kalesh? How do you say kalesh in English? Conflict. But kalesh has more to it than the word conflict. Correct? You have shak in each other, in the family. What the hell are you going to do with it? Spiritualism has to start with personal habit. So the first one that drilled into me, we come with nothing, we go out with nothing. It changes all your behavior. That doesn't mean you will not achieve whatever, please note the phrase, whatever your potential is. I did not say what your goal is. Whatever your potential is. You know the examples. Don't have to repeat them. Lata Mangeshkar. Clear? A Tendulkar. I think Prime Minister Modi. Clear? The GDP of India today, 4 trillion. The Prime Minister announced some time ago to have a target of 5 trillion. If you do constant currency, it is close to 5 trillion. He announces the goal publicly. The only democracy that announced that goal and get us there. That's leadership. He lives simply, I believe. His values are well known, correct? So the idea here is for peace is individually first. Each day, each week, each month. My second principle, and I have no clue how it came, but I practiced that. And the second principle was the principle of sacrifice. I wanted nothing. I used to say, I can live on nothing. I practice of living very little. You don't need it. So why are you fighting for it? And that helped me all the way through. I live in a materialistic society, but I practice my homegrown values. Never had an automobile, never driven one. My clothes will never be expensive, even though I can afford. I get requests, why don't you get your own aeroplane? I don't need it. I go all these teaching across the globe, consulting, why don't you have an assistant to go with you? I said, no need it. Personal habits. To have the peace, you have to be the role model. Why do I tell you about this? I usually don't tell my own story. As I said this morning, how many of you were there this morning? Okay, very few of you. So I said this morning, I'm a teacher at heart. I taught in these various places. I still teach. We shape the life, the character, the values of our students. We show them the path. We do something more. We open the constraints of their mind. Most of those constraints are self-imposed. We can, we should, we must do both. Live in this society, but also have spiritual values. We've got to teach that in every course, in every class, that you will be better off. Personal peace of mind, practicing it, you will be well off. So I'll tell you one incident in my life. This was my first time where I was asked to deliver a lecture only to the most celebrated CEOs of America. I never had that chance before. It was organized. I was given the slot to do that. The organizer called me up a day before, and he said, Ram, so-and-so wants that. If you say, don't give it to him, we keep it. I don't know that so-and-so. If you release it, we'll do that. I said, release it. He needs more than I do. He did. I did. About 10 years later, he called me up, and he said, I want you to come to Microsoft. It's a CEO meeting. I go there. He put me at the table in front of Bill Gates, in front of Warren Buffett, in front of Jack Welch. I said, I don't believe it. At dinner, 3-hour dinner. So it will pay if you sacrifice. At the time, I have no clue. I had forgotten who it is, did it. Sacrifice is our values, at least in the Hindu religion. Can I say that? That's us. Be trained. It's in the Sanskrit. By the way, I was trained well in Sanskrit. I used to sing the shlokas. I cannot do it now. I used to recite those 7 sins. Remember? Bhayam, Krodh, Alats. I can't do that now. And that used to remind, we are on this earth not to be the maximizer of materialism. We are on this earth to do the human side of it. But to do that, I need to practice. To do that, I need to get each student, get to know what is his, her potential. How do I shape that behavior? That's the individual level. Now, let me take you through on the global level. I am very lucky that in a given year, today I'm here in India. On Monday, I will be in the United States. Next Friday, I'll be in Brazil. So I am around the world through the year. So I get to work with these various cultures, various people, various tough situations, easy situations. And here, the word peace has to be in my behavior. And so here are a number of things I learned working with the people there with different cultures at different times. By the way, I serve on the board of a Chinese company. I'm still on the board of the Chinese company. I have been on the board of Hindalco. I've been on the board of Renew. I've been on the board of a Brazilian company, and obviously the United States. So we're saying in different cultures, different expectations, different behaviors, how do you go with the word peace and spiritualism, and yet you're living in a materialistic society? So here I learned the hard way. It's a fact. And the first part is, I have to have an attitude that I respect these people. I respect their values. I respect their behaviors. I respect their culture. And I also must come to terms, I don't really know it. I've got to learn it. So your dialogue changes. Your questioning changes. And that part, that means that I have to have a drive to learn the culture of the other people. Culture means their values, their behaviors, what they like, what they don't like. I'm not giving up my integrity, no, but I need to learn. Now I come to the point for peace. Am I tolerant enough? Let me repeat. Am I tolerant enough? Am I patient enough? Am I too selfish, too fast to drive the agenda? Or do I have patience, resilience, to listen, to entertain, to draw out, and build the connection? In every situation of major nature, some things are similar, and some things are diverse, and some things are very different. Conflict. So I need to learn how to have a peaceful dialogue. I need to learn how to work through the differences, but the differences matter. So each of us in those cultures represent India. Make no mistake, that is the key part. We represent India. So now I take you to a higher level. Something I have to deal with it, and I'm happy to deal with it. As you know from the introduction, being on the boards, being in the company of these CEOs, after 3 drinks, a question comes. Where does Mr. Modi stand? Did I say it right? Where does Mr. Modi stand politically? Now, why do I say after 3 drinks? The pretensions are out. They want to know where Mr. Modi stands. He did not condemn Ukraine situation. Takes no position there. Mr. Modi is a peacemaker. They don't understand why he didn't do that. Their whole way of thinking is either with us or you are not with us. That's what you deal with. And I could give an answer that is almost insulting without insulting. Or I could take the time to explain, even though they don't accept it. Each of us represent that for peace. And if I take the time to see their skepticism, why they see though, and if I listen to them for why they say that, and I take the time to reason together, I may be able to give them some good facts that they may consider that there is a reason why Mr. Modi's behavior has been that way. And Mr. Modi has a very good reason for it. It's public, it's nothing, I don't see him, I've never met him. But it's all there in the press. I have a written line he published about why he does that. And he has done a great job of G20. And can see that we are we are in a role we can bring peace without being in somebody's pocket alone. He demonstrates that. That's leadership. It's in open ways, it's very clear. So here, they doing things, and here, the spiritual part, not only they are not opposed, they reinforce each other. I live that. I'm at peace. People ask me. I say, yeah, if I die today, I'm very happy. Because I know. I know this from very old days. We come with nothing and we go out of nothing. And yet you're able to do all those things. I wrote no books until 1997. I now have 36 books. How come? 4 million copies. I'm not encroaching on anybody. And more to come, by the way. I'm not over yet. You can do that. Why did I say that to you? That the spiritual part gives me energy. It gives me inspiration. It gives me, okay, you wanted this, you didn't get it, so what? Let's go next. Let's do next. Do that. So on a global basis, now I take you through. I'm allowed to examine these things. In Washington, talking to senators, to Republican Party, Democratic Party, congressional people to see where the world is going. And it doesn't look good. We are very lucky, India. First, in India, on the planet, we are the only big country and only democracy that has better growth than any other country. It's not by chance. It's by leadership. Leadership not just of the Prime Minister. Of course, Prime Minister and the government, of course. But not just that. When I go to the companies, I go to the companies now that are $100 million in sales. I make point of going to them. You should see the fire in their eyes. You see the kindling in their heart. You see what's coming. They are leaders also. You see, you talk to the technology people, and they can't wait to do things. We have those fire inside. That's a leadership also. We have that in India. India is on fire. We've got to keep it. We continue. We still hold our religious values, don't we? We do that. We continue to do that. Those religious values give us peace, give us inspirations. So I have our India is now of all democracies and all large countries on the right track. Innovation, productivity, education, bringing new technologies. We have a long way to go, but nobody that I know has yet come to realize there is a prime minister who says we will get the GDP to 5 trillion, and he gets it. People say, China, China. I say, well, you don't understand China. And say, what do you mean? I say, I've been to 50 companies inside in China. I'll go to their house. You have no clue. You just get interviews. Well, they have a plan. I said, what is the plan? They published one. Okay, they published one. They get executed. I say, yeah, right. But you don't know more than 10 companies in China. Press doesn't never cover more than 10. Same companies again and again. I say, I go into those companies inside. You have no idea. Now, many good things are there. But we do this in democracy. We do with these Indian values. We grow our people. We don't live in fear the way we have in China. Our growth rate is now much larger than any rival in the world. Did I come out clearly? Our growth rate is much larger than any other country in the world. Don't let you believe the published numbers, because I know the real numbers. We continue to do that, but we do with our values. My values were shaped in the village context. People come, do this, teach that, what that part is. So let me just take you the last part, then let's have some questions. We're going to have continued inflation. India will have that. That's the reality of life. We're going to have interest rates high. And we're going to have productivity. Good news, we have more people now who understand technology. Technology is the engine of creating jobs, is the engine of productivity, is the engine of getting to people to dream what we could do on a global basis. We have global companies for the last 20, 30 years. How many of you heard of Tata Services? Tata's. They're number one in the world. They built it from nothing. And I believe the government gave them no help. That was my belief. So we have people like that who can do that. More to come is going to come to do that. So the inflation is going to be here. Don't get lost in the word recession. It's wrongly defined. It's okay. We know how to do it. We've done that. We're going to have more technology, more foreign development, foreign direct investment. I am a great fan of our finance minister. I've never met her. And the governor of the Reserve Bank. Why? So some of the things I know a little. The combination of these two is in the top 2 finance people on the planet. I might be persuaded to say number 1. I have not known anybody at this juncture who has managed the currency better than these 2 people. Now, who selected them? The Prime Minister. If you don't manage the currency, it could have been the old way, and if the currency would have gone to 100 rupees, it will be less than 4 trillion. It will be 3 trillion. You will be treading water. Our people rising, getting freedom. Look at IPL. How many new people come out? You look at music. How many more people come out? They have been hidden. I don't get to watch many of these. Who banega kya bolte usko crorepati? See how many people coming out from where? Look at the talent we have. And some of the people who are coming from the villages, look at their high values. Very high values. They're cultivated. So we have this store of intrinsic, inherent, in culture, the infusion of values and spiritualism in the work we do. We've got to maintain it. So why do I bring it here? I'm beyond now teaching the way I used to teach. I used to have 200 people in the class, but I knew every one of them. That was a requirement. I can go in the street, spot him, say hello, do that. Is we are the ones who shape the future generation. You can't say, I'm going to have a lecture on spiritism. You've got to talk in every class. You've got to link. You've got to give examples what that is. We're going to have conflict. Count on it. We got Ukraine. We got Israel. I'm predictive, one more to come. It's going to happen. We're going to have issues of shortages. We're going to have issues of flow of oil. We import a lot of oil. Those issues will be managed. We're managing them now. It's going to happen. But we must continue to upgrade our skills. My father used to say, totally, illiterate, amazing wisdom. He used to say, nobody can take your education away. Think about that. Nobody can take your education away. No matter what have you to do. It's fantastic. We're poor. And here we had a medical doctor. Rich, high status. We are shops. And so he found out that I have done well in BHU, and then I'm going to Australia. So he comes to the shop for the first time. Believe me, that's a big deal. A highly prestigious doctor coming to the shop to see my father. And obviously he's very courteous. He's been in the town a long time. He said, I hear your son is going to go to Australia. He said, yes, sir, so and so. And so obviously he said, send it to him, send him to me. I go there. And obviously I touch his feet. And I'm in my shoe store dresses, ganda pajama and all that. He makes me sit down. And he's treating me in the Hindi language, bete kaise ho, kahan jate ho, no English. So he asked me a single question. He said, what would you do on the weekends? I have no clue there is something called weekend, because we open the shop on Sundays. So I asked him. He said, okay, I'll explain. They did. So what would you in the weekend? I have no idea what I do. So then he says, you know, in Australia, they have evening classes. In 1959, there are no evening classes in India. There is no online. And he said, they're very cheap. So what you're going to do in the evenings and on the weekends? I thought I got the hint. I go to Australia, I got a job. I go 5 nights a week. You work on the weekend. It got noticed by the company. So one day, I was there and a big shot, Ram. They call me Ram. Big shot. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the university. What are you doing? Saying. Then he says to me, who pays for it? So I do. He said, no. You come to my office, the company will pay. Can you see the impact on me? So at one point, I had 8 courses, distinctions, published in the newspaper. Got the call from the CEO. What are you going to do? I want to do masters. So a tall fellow came to see me, took me to his big office. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I want to do operations research in Manchester. He said, no. Nice, polite, courteous, you get a cup of tea. It's a royal treatment, by the way. White Australia policy. He said, no, you're going to go to Harvard. Have you saved enough? I say, yeah, I have saved enough. He said, fine, put the application in. I got admitted in 10 days. We need to use the time. That doctor, his family moved to America, I go to their house and so on. I love their children, the family and all that. Now I'm part of the family. Use the time. Education, nobody will take it from you. Drive. Why do I say to us? Can you imbibe that idea to your students? Let's take some questions. Oh, it's 0. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Indeed, very inspiring and very motivating. A big round of applause, dear friends. Indeed, he deserves a standing ovation. A big round of applause. Understanding the culture and peace. And we should never forget that wherever we go, we represent our Bharat. That was the message given to us. Indeed, very important message. Thank you, sir. And now, the forum is open for question and answer. We would be taking few questions. I request the questions asked to be short and specific. Any questions if you have? We can take those questions.
Hey, we all have questions. Nobody will be embarrassed. Let's see your curiosity. Let's get some question here. Please help us.
I have a question. You have lived here in your childhood, right? And then you lived in USA. Both are the democratic countries. What are the similarities and what are the contradictions, in both countries? Because what USA was after World War II and what India is today, how can you compare and contrast? I mean, what can we learn from their mistakes and how far we can go?
The question was, you, during your... Yes.
similarities and dissimilarities
That's
in various
correct.
countries? Yeah, I think it's a very, very critical question. I believe so.
Yeah.
And if I don't come through, please repeat. So I'm going to pick countries: America, Australia, a good deal parts of Europe, similar modeling. More particularly USA. The drive to have shareholder value maximize is trumping the issue of national security. And I'm dealing with it personally. Can you turn the photo off?
Recording karuna.
Kindly stop.
Any other question, please? I want you to know this, it's a fact. Telecommunication infrastructure is a national security issue if it is installed by an opponent.
how right we are doing and thinking, but about other players as well. So how to get the other players along with us?
So if you can repeat the question and
Yeah.
a bit.
Sir, things depend on interdependency. It's an interdependent reality. Okay.
Just come on, tell me here. I'll get it. You don't need that.
Okay.
No, you don't need that. Yeah.
So my question is that we live in an interdependent reality. It's not only about how right we are doing and thinking, but about other players as well, what they are doing and thinking. How to get these other players along for a global.
For the global,
Yeah.
you know, it's a clear question.
Yes.
Very question. Now, the first thing, I believe Prime Minister Modi is doing it. I don't know him, never met him. But I do read newspapers here and there. And I do talk to the people who educate me. Remember when he was inaugurated the first time? Did he invite foreign leaders? Remember that? Dialogue. Welcome. Extend the hand. He continues to do that, does he not? Leaders. We have differences with China. He does meet with the President Xi. There's a dialogue. Let us reason together. At least we talk. Narrow the differences and narrow where we can do certain kind of compromises or decisions. Some we cannot do. He is not stopping there. I was so thrilled, but that's me, in my global outlook, when the Prime Minister announced, and it's happening, no more just announcement, we're going to do rupee trade. It is being done. It's not a dream. I was very thrilled. I know exactly where he's going. We are going to give power to Bangladesh. It's happening, not only, it is happening now. We are going to give the digital technology to the neighbor guys. It is going to happen. You build bridges. I believe the Prime Minister is doing that. When I say Prime Minister, his team, not just the Prime Minister alone. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. Our Governor of Reserve Bank of India, the Finance Minister, and the people down, they are highly hooked with Washington in the Fed. Reason together. Bring more dialogue.
Shall I say thank you so much?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Indeed, a big round of applause.
Call Mr. Sanjay Upadhyay.
Yes, sir. And now it is the time that I would like to welcome Dr. Sanjay Upadhyay, Senior Advisor, MIT World Peace University, Pune, Bharat, to give the concluding remarks.
नमस्ते। इंडिया का भारत हो चुका है, मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगा। पहला जो लेक्चर हमने सुना, नॉलेज, वाटर, कैटलिस्ट ऑफ पीस, सब जगह ये तो चर्चा चल रही है कि अगला युद्ध होगा, इससे अगर युद्ध होता भी है तो उसका कारण पानी रहेगा पूरी दुनिया में। लेकिन जिस तरह से जोग्राफिकली एंड लिंग्विस्टिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हरी सर और हरी मैडम ने हमें ये विषय समझाया, मैं कहता हूँ वो और आसान होते गया। शब्दों का जो एक ही शब्द के कई अर्थ है, जिसे भाषा में श्लेष अलंकार कहा जाता है, तो वर्षा का मतलब ईयर भी है, वर्षा का मतलब लैंड भी है, वर्षा का मतलब ऋतु भी है। तो ये सुनने के बाद भारत के लिए पानी अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है और भारत में ही वो समृद्धि उपलब्ध है पानी की। और इसलिए फ्रीडम फाइटर स्वातंत्रवीर विनायक दामोदर सावरकर ने जो हिंदू शब्द की डेफिनेशन की है उसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि आ सिंधु सिंधु पर्यंता यस्य भारत भूमिका पितृभू पुण्यभूश्चैव सवै हिंदू रीति स्मृता। आ सिंधु सिंधु पर्यंता, चारों समुंदर का ही उल्लेख उसमें है, सिंधु नदी से लेकर कन्याकुमारी तक और बंगाल के उपसागर से लेकर अरबी समुंदर तक की जो भूमि है, तो ये पानी कितना अहम है हमारे लिए। तो मैं उनका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ, आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ मिस्टर हरि और मिसेस हरि, जिन्होंने पहली बार हम इस व्याख्यानमाला में पति पत्नी दोनों यहाँ डायस पे आके बात करें ऐसे सुना। उनके लिए एक बार जोरदार तालियां के हम का अभिनंदन करेंगे। और बाद में तो जैसे ही डॉक्टर रामचंद्र जी नीचे आ गए, ये सबसे आसान तरीका रहता है, थिएट्रिकली भी आसान तरीका रहता है टू कनेक्ट यू विदाउट सेइंग एनी वर्ड, टू फर्स्ट टू कनेक्ट विथ यू, टू कम ऑन योर लेवल। जैसे हिंदी में शब्द है समझा कर, तो समझा कर का मतलब है कहाँ जाकर बोलना है, समझ आकर बोलना है। तो जिस स्तर पे आप हो उसी स्तर पे आके उन्होंने अपना भाषण शुरू किया, इसलिए मैं तो उसके लिए उनका जो नीचे जैसे इंट्रोडक्शन चल रहा था उनका नीचे आना भी थिएट्रिकली इतना एनरिच था। दूसरी बात, जो पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं भारत के, वो आजकल ज़्यादातर इन्फ्लुएंस होते हैं मीडिया के माध्यम से, और मीडिया जिस तरह से व्यक्त होता है भारत के बारे में, उसमें दो तरीके हैं, एक राइट विंग है और एक लेफ्ट विंग है। ज़्यादातर हम देखा जाता है कि जो पार्टी राज कर रही है उस पार्टी के जो भी डिसीजंस है उसको अगर खारिज करना होगा तो उनके खिलाफ बात करनी पड़ेगी। तो हमारे यहाँ तो विरोधी पक्ष कहा जाता है अपोजिशन को, और सावरकर ने बार बार कहा था 1947 के बाद, सहकारी पक्ष को विरोधी पक्ष मत कहो। विरोधी पक्ष कहने से प्री कंसीव्ड नोशन आता है मन में कि हमें विरोधी करना है। और इस बैकग्राउंड पे जब रामचंद्र जी ने हमें भारत का जो पोर्ट्रेट हमारे सामने पेश किया है वो इतना बेहतरीन था। सच्चाई क्या है, ट्रुथ क्या है, वो भी हमारे सामने रखते गए वो। और ये संस्कृति वैसे ही काम करती है, कितने हजारों सालों से ये संस्कृति वैसे ही काम करती है। भले हमारा ट्रैवलिंग पॉलिटिकल ट्रैवल है 1947 टू AK-47, अगर ऐसा हुआ भी है तो लेकिन उस पर जीतने का मार्ग हमारे पास उपलब्ध है। तो इन शॉर्ट मैं तो एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ भारतीय संस्कृति का, जिसकी समृद्धि उन्होंने हमारे सामने पेश की। इसलिए मैं उनका बहुत आभारी हूँ कि जिस तरह से भारतीय फाइनेंशियल सिक्योरिटी के बारे में, संस्कृति के बारे में उन्होंने हमारे सामने पेश किया। पहली बार इस हॉल में ऐसे हुआ है कि भारत का इतना हमें आशादायी चित्र निर्माण करने वाले वक्ता यहाँ पे मौजूद हो गए। मैं राहुल सर का भी आभारी हूँ कि उन्होंने रामचरण जी को यहाँ पे बुलाया आपके सामने अपने विचार पेश करने के लिए। लास्ट में एक बात हमें भी ध्यान रखनी चाहिए कि भारतीय संस्कृति हाथी की तरह है। हाथी जब प्रोफाइल में हाथी अंदर आता है तो पहले क्या दिखाई देते हैं, उसके दांत दिखाई देते हैं, और दैट इज सिक्योरिटी, कि हम उस पर भी ध्यान दे रहे हैं। बाद में शूंड आती है जो फ्लेक्सिबल है, जो हम एडमेंट नहीं है, ये कन्वे करती है संस्कृति। बाद में हमारे कान बड़े हैं तो हम सबकी बात सुनते हैं G20 में, ऐसे नहीं कि सब हमारी बात चलती रहती है। तो बड़े कान हैं, बहुत सारा सुनते हैं, लोगों को बोलने देते हैं। उसके बाद में हमारी आंखें हैं जो माइक्रोस्कोपिक हैं, हर एक चीज़ को हम चूज़ करके लेते हैं छोटी 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 नज़रों से। और फिर हमारा बड़ा पेट है जिसमें हम पूरी दुनिया की जो भी गलतियां हैं वो हम हमारे पेट में समा लेते हैं। इसलिए संस्कृति चल रही है इतने सालों से, हजारों सालों से। फिर जो 4 स्तंभ है पाँव के, धर्म अर्थ काम और मोक्ष, उस पर ये संस्कृति खड़ी है। और बाकी देशों की जो गलतियां हैं वो पूछ की तरह हम पीछे छोड़ देते हैं। जैसे ये हाथी अंदर आता है, मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि एक अंदर ही अंदर बाकी सब देशों के मन में ये दुविधा है कि इस संस्कृति का क्या करेंगे। जिस संस्कृति के ईशावास्य उपनिषद में लिखा है न तस्य प्रतिमा अस्ति, भगवान की प्रतिमा नहीं है तो यहाँ मौजूद है, भगवान नहीं है वो चारवाक भी मौजूद है, भगवान है तो अवतार भी मौजूद है। बायोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में है पूरे के पूरे हमारे अवतार, जो मत्स्य से शुरू होते हैं पानी से, जो आखिर यंत्र पे आके रुक जाते हैं। कल की जो आखिरी अवतार है इसके बाद आने वाला आधा अश्व है और आधा मनुष्य है। तो आजकल आप गाड़ी चलाते हो तो वैसे ही दिखाई देता है, हॉर्स पावर की गाड़ी नीचे है और आप आधे दिखाई दे रहे हो वही तो चल रहा है। खैर कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन बड़ी खुशी लगी आप सबकी तरफ से और MIT वर्ल्ड पीस यूनिवर्सिटी की तरफ से मैं श्री रामचरण जी का आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ कि जिस सिंसेरिटी से एकेडमिकली आज के इस भाषण में लीडरशिप, पीस के लिए लीडरशिप कैसी होनी चाहिए और कौन होगा उसका उत्तर उन्होंने अपने भाषण में दिया है और वो है भारत। थैंक यू सो मच।
Friends, sorry to intervene again, but I am feeling little bit uneasy if I don't speak. I would like to thank the team of Rahul Karad and his people around him for making a historic decision. And when I see on one side Hari and on the other side Ram, राम कृष्ण हरि ऐसा संदेश है, बट उससे ज़्यादा मुझे खुशी इस बात की है कि राहुल ने और उसकी टीम ने जो डिसीजन किया है बड़ा हिस्टोरिक है। रामचरण साहब के नाम पे जो रामचरण स्कूल ऑफ लीडरशिप और मैनेजमेंट, आई डोंट नो, बट ही इज़ अ ग्लोबल management guru. There is a big list of achievements in his lifetime and a very worthy son of India. मैं assertively ये बता सकता हूँ, मैंने उनके जीवन की कहानी देखी है, कितने छोटे देहात से, कितनी छोटी गरीब फैमिली से कैसे आए, देन भारत में PhD होने के बाद कौन सा विद्यापीठ, भारत में कौन सा विद्यापीठ में थे, इंडिया में
BHU
बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी से PhD होने के बाद the MIT school, MIT institution, Harvard school, on the lines of the Kennedy School of Government, when I listen, Ramcharan School of Leadership or Management, it's a very historic event for us and for India to accept him. जोर से ताली. I really say thank you so much, Ram Sahab, for blessing this institution and the team of the new generation, Rahul and Mangesh and everybody. We will try to prove that we are worthy of the confidence we have reposed in us. इतना आसान नहीं है. जब मैंने कैनेडी स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट हार्वर्ड की बात की, एक सपना था कभी, when MIT was established in the year 1963. ये बात है 1983 की बात है. मैंने चाहा था कि अमेरिका के लोग, अमेरिका के स्टूडेंट्स एंड टीचर्स, they should come to India to learn and understand. Possibly when Ramcharan's name is there, I am very confident that the very curious students of America, they will certainly come and possibly stay in this institution under this Ramcharan School of Leadership. So once again we welcome him and thank you so much.
मला एक 30 सेकंड बोलू. Just as a gratitude, I think, thank you for the respected Karad sir just made mention about Ramcharan Sahab. Of course, we all know, we all in academia, industry, everybody knows Ramcharan Sahab name, but कई बार कई चीज़ें बहुत आसानी से हो जाती तो हमें भी समझ में नहीं आता है. तो रामचरण सर ने शायद whole life, he's a very different person. The way I have seen in US, I have seen some other countries, and last 4 years before, when I got to know him through Ashok Joshi ji, and this very, his conversation about governance and leadership and management education. And when we requested a year before, I think very easily with that, he was having that comfort, and I don't know what he felt about our institution. And Honorable Karad sir, he accepted it. Sir, we are truly grateful. And thank you that मतलब करार सर को जो अभी भावना उन्होंने व्यक्त की यहाँ पे, ये बहुत हमारे लिए सबके लिए, और हम we commit ourselves, Professor Ishwar, all of you now taking the leadership. It's a big responsibility when his name is with us, and all the time in the afternoon also on the dining table we were sitting. There's some, the students have shown the faith. It's a very unique. Already we have a management education from so many years, but I think this is a very distinguished, different approach we have adopted for this particular Ramcharan School of Leadership. So thank you so much, Ramcharan Sahab, once again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Friends, it is time that now I call upon.
So sir's biography also, we wish to distribute all the teachers and his, so definitely, sir, I think we can do many great things. And at the age of 84, I think this one quality, for 15 seconds, I will say that I get fascinated that 50, 55, 60 के बाद लोग retirement की बात बोलते हैं, I think, and both our beloved founder and Ramcharan Sahab at the age of 84, his relevance, all 30, 40, 50 years age of this corporate people, they serve, how the business nuances, the Amazon and various world.
You must first know that he is running 85. Can you imagine that he is 85?
A big round of applause.
It's a personal statement I'm making. He is not married. He doesn't belong to any personal properties in any nation of the world. He is a true global citizen, a role model to be how a global citizen could be, and what sacrifice, devotion, dedication, courage, conviction and determination. Every word is 100% applicable to his life. That's why I said that we welcome him. We are very fortunate. Thank you.
Indeed, we are very fortunate and honored to have with us Professor Dr. Ramcharan, and we would be really waiting, and we would love to read the biography of Professor Dr. Ramcharan. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And now, friends, it is the time that I call upon Dr. Iswar Krishnan Iyer, Dean, Ramcharan School of Leadership, MIT World Peace University, to propose vote of thanks.
Good evening, respected dais. Good evening, all. There is a very, very archaic British phrase that you can't have the cake and eat it. It was first negated by an ex-British Prime Minister himself, Boris Johnson, when Britain walked out of Brexit, by telling that now UK is going to have the cake and eat it. The second time it is going to happen is today. Today, I can tell you with authority that global mindsets in Indian roots, what is happening at a very, very global level and what is happening at a very, very Indian level, normally we don't get two things on the same day. But it's a huge privilege, pleasure and honor that within 90 minutes, we could hear both of them on the same day from the same stage. Within 30, 40 minutes, my guru, Dr. Ramcharan, on whose name I happen to be humble dean of the school, took us through Russia, through Israel, through Bangladesh, through UK, through USA, covered the whole globe, the way Muruga covered, using his peacock, the whole globe within minutes. He covered the whole globe within minutes. At the other extreme, the necessary should be taking that to the classroom immediately, how Abraham Maslow took Taittiriya Upanishad to create that 5-level hierarchy. What we have been teaching as Maslow's hierarchy actually belongs to the Taittiriya Upanishad. To that extreme, my friends from Chennai, Dr. Hari and his wife Hema Hari, took us through the entire pantheon of the knowledge that takes us from India and to the global level. So thank you so much, all of you. It's an absolute pleasure being with you. I conclude with one more sentence. It's a personal sentence. For the last 30 years, the name that I've been taking maximum every day, as we all do, is my wife's name, Vijayalakshmi. But since I joined MITWPU Ramcharan School of Leadership, the name that I take more than Vijayalakshmi is Ramcharan. Every conversation starts with, I'm the Dean of Ramcharan School of Leadership. I'm from Ramcharan, I'm from Ramcharan, I'm from Ramcharan. So, thank you so much, and a huge thanks to Senior Karadji and Junior Karadji for giving an opportunity for sharing the stage with such brilliant luminaries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And as we are coming to the end of the session 3 of day 1 of 28 endowment lecture series, just a gentle reminder about tomorrow's sessions. Tomorrow, as usual, sharp at 7 a.m., we would be starting with yoga, followed by the first session conducted by Honorable Dr. Jagdish Hiremat. The second section would be conducted by Dr. Mukesh Sharma and followed by Shri Gajendra Chauhan. And in the evening, we would be having Shri Vivek Agnihotri. Just one moment.
Just one intervention, please. Today we had phenomenal sessions, scintillating leaders. Taking the same spirit ahead, tomorrow also we are going to have huge leaders and speakers speaking. In the morning, of course, we all know about Dr. Hiremat. He is talking about the preventing heart attack. In the morning second session, we are having the Yudhishthir of the Mahabharata, Dr. Gajendra Chauhan, the most righteous king of the Pandava. And we also have our own Dr. Sharma for talking about the Dr. Mukesh Sharma sir talking. In the evening, we have the feast, friends. In the evening, we have all seen the films, the Kashmir files, the Tashkent files, the vaccine war. The Z security person coming directly from Indonesia to India tomorrow just for us. So tomorrow in the evening, he is talking about the pride of India. So tomorrow in the evening session, you are all requested. There will be huge security here, huge gathering here of the press also. So half an hour before the session begins, 3:30, all of you are requested to take your seat. Then only we will get an opportunity to witness the session of Shri Vivek Agnihotri. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, very interesting sessions lined up tomorrow. Please ensure your participants. And with this, I request everyone to rise in their seat for Pasai Dan.
आता विश्वात्मके देवे येने वाग्यज्ञे तोषावे तोषोन्मदजावे पसाय दानहे जे खडांती व्यंकटी सांडो तया सत्कर्मी रतिवाढ भूता परस्परे पडो मैत्र जीवांचे दुरिताते तिमिरदा विश्वस्वधर्म सूर्ये पाहो जो देवांशील तो तेलाह प्राणी जात वर्षत सकळ मंगळी ईश्वर निष्ठांची मांदियाळी अनवरत भूमंडळी भेट तू भूता चला कल्पतरूंचे आरव चेतना चिंतामणी आणि ग्रंथोपजीविये विशेषी लोकीये दृष्टादृष्ट विजये होवावे येथ म्हणे श्री विश्वेश्वराव हा होईल दान पसावो येणे वरे ज्ञान देवो सुखिया
I request everyone to kindly wait. Let the guest first leave the hall and then we will leave the hall. I request everyone to kindly wait